Amber.
They saw my tum-tum!
The moon landing didn't happen.
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Okay, fine. You're the queen of lolcows. Well done, you.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though. I am the worst YouTuber ever. She wasn't very big on YouTube yet. I didn't even really know that she had a YouTube when me and her started talking. So YouTube was pretty kind of like irrelevant.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Professor Dietz, and today I have for you another, I guess call it a history lesson with Destiny. Destiny has recently made somewhat of a comeback to YouTube. I mean, it's kind of been 2 failed attempts, I guess you could say, at least at time of filming, where, she had an issue with AI thinking she was about 13 and age restricting her. Well, that's a real issue for sure, and that's not her fault. But at the same time, I'm not totally convinced that she is actually going to make a full comeback to YouTube, so we're just gonna have to wait and see on that one. But for the time being, I'm just gonna take it at face value and believe, sure, Destiny's gonna come back and make more videos and perhaps even become a reaction channel to Amber's videos from her own era. That is an interesting thought for sure. I do have some mixed feelings about the whole thing. The worried side of me, the mental health and wellness side of me kind of wonders, hey, is reliving that trauma by watching those videos really a smart thing to do? Are you going to be okay watching that? I don't know that I would be. I'd probably want to not watch it, in fact, but I'm not Destiny. And in fact, maybe it's going to be cathartic for her to watch it, react to it, get it out of her system, and then be able to, leave it in the past and fully move on to a newer future. Could be. And if Destiny ends up doing these retro reacts, then I hope, obviously, that is the path for her. However, I've yet to see a retro react from her, so I don't know if it's going to happen. Just in case it does, I thought that it would be very interesting to actually go back to the last time she made a comeback. Well, maybe it wasn't the last time, because she, has come back a couple times since then with Beck and all of that, but when she did her Tea series a couple years ago, and she went through in chronological order her relationship with Amber. Now, a lot of people said that was very lukewarm, it was nothing burger, nothing that special, why'd you even bother? Okay. In some ways, fair. As I recall, I feel like she would say things, but not fully tell the story behind them. It's like, yeah, we already knew that. What do you have to add to it? I feel like that's kind of how I walked away from it. But it's been a while since I watched them, and I thought, if Destiny's gonna come back and maybe do these retro reacts, it will be good for us to have that information fresh in our minds and kind of have that as we go into her new videos. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the first video in that series, which is called The First Cup of Tea. That video covers 2015 in their relationship. It's from the time they started chatting on that app all the way through December of 2015. Got a few months to cover there. And the way that I'm going to be watching this video is, just, again, a refresher course on what she said a couple years ago, so we have it fresh in our minds and can kind of juxtapose it to what she says in future videos. But also, I want to remember kind of who Destiny is as a storyteller and how much has she realized who Amber is over the years, since she was in a relationship with her, because really, it's important to remember that Destiny was 19 when she and Amber started dating. She was so young. And being that young with, not very much life experience, certainly not a lot of experience in relationships and with toxic personalities, I don't know that she necessarily was able to recognize just the scope of what she was being put through and understand that it was traumatic and abusive and controlling. But now that she's gotten some distance from it, does she recognize it now? I'm not totally sure, and I'm going to be looking out for that when we're watching this as well. So I'm going to stop talking about it now. That way we can just get to watching, talk about it as we go, and at the end, I am going to take a look at a few of the comments, and then of course wrap things up with a Corgi Cam to soothe our souls after talking about Amber for a long time, we're definitely going to need it. And yeah, I think that about covers it. There will be timestamps in the description as usual. And let's get started.
Hey guys, so if you hear anything going on in the background, I have 101 Dalmatians playing for my dogs. They like to watch TV. But I know you guys have been anticipating this, waiting for this video. Like I said before, it's not gonna all be in one video. I've been doing some research, if you will, to see to see where I need to start. And I guess I should really start from the beginning with me and Amberlynn. So
I like how it took her a lot of research to figure out that she should start at the very beginning.
I have a little notebook and I took some notes for some previous stuff. So this is just give you guys a better understanding, I guess, of how it all started to how it all ended. And then some after, obviously.
Gross. I hate that burp. I hate it so much. It's so disgusting.
Okay, so we're gonna start in 2015. That is the year that I met Amberlynn and that we started dating. She wasn't very big on YouTube yet. I didn't even really know that she had a YouTube when me and her started talking. So YouTube was pretty kind of like irrelevant. But
I find that kind of interesting that Amber didn't actually lead with YouTube, seeing as it really was the only thing she did, right? It's like literally the only thing that she stuck to the entire time that she was with Crystal. Everything else she failed at, she quit immediately. YouTube, sure, she threatened to quit a couple times, but ultimately she did stick with it. So you might actually think that Amber would, lead with that being one of the things she does. I wonder why she didn't. Maybe it was because she was already getting so much hate and she didn't want Destiny to see? Curious.
I met her. We met on I don't know if you'd call it a dating app. I don't think it was a dating app. I think it was just like a chat app. But I think I've said this in a previous video when I was in one of her videos. Someone had been using my pictures on there and was catfishing people. I don't know why. Like, of all people, you're gonna pick me. Didn't know the person really, so it was just a mess. But that was March of 2015.
Do we have more information on that from any other sources? Because that is a very strange story. I almost kind of feel like Destiny made it up so that she had an excuse to be on that app. Like she was only on there still to just make sure that somebody wasn't using her photos. But in reality, she just wanted to be on the app and chatting with people. Right? Doesn't that just make more sense? I'm not 100% convinced that Destiny's lying about this. It's just so strange. And the fact that she doesn't offer more information about it makes it even more suspicious to me. If this happened to her, she'd have this whole story and she'd talk about it more, right? I don't know.
I was actually in a relationship at the time going on.
And there, sorry, I know I just paused it, but the fact that she was in a relationship at the time and on that app really makes me feel like she needed an excuse to be on it in case her, girlfriend at the time caught her. Doesn't that make more sense? You tell me. Let me know in the comments also if we do know more about this story from another source.
That would have been almost 3 years. Not quite, but it was just past the 2-year mark. It was a long distance relationship. I lived in Florida and she lived in California. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about her because I don't need y'all swamping her with stuff. We're cool now. It's all good. I had no intentions of meeting anyone on that app. I mean, I was just on there to make sure I still wasn't being used as someone else's pictures.
Yeah, I don't know. The more she talks about it, the more I don't believe her. I think she was just cheating on her girlfriend and was looking for someone new. Whether that be someone new to, just chat with or to actually date. I don't know if that even matters, but She just wanted an excuse to kind of cheat on her girlfriend, and she came up with this, someone's using my photos to catfish thing. Man, I don't know.
So then I meet Amber Lynn on there. I don't really know. I think I messaged her first probably. I don't know. But she just looked like someone cool to talk to. It wasn't going to be anything like that.
Did she look like someone cool to talk to? Because what was on there? What was her profile like? Seriously, she didn't have any hobby. She didn't do anything. She rarely left Crystal's house. The only reason they left was to go to restaurants or to go shopping. That's pretty much it. What about her seemed cool? And I don't mean that to sound super cruel. I just don't know what she would have had on her profile to make herself sound like someone interesting to talk to about life when she didn't have a lot of life experience. I mean, I guess she just probably lied. Or Destiny was just attracted to her, and that's the easiest explanation, and we should just use Occam's razor here.
So me and her talk on and off for a little while, like just as friends, whatever. And let me see. So then like the end of April, beginning of May, which the relationship I was in for a long time, like I said, but you can see Carter getting comfy on the couch. The relationship I was in, the girl I was with, sorry, there was someone messaging me. I wasn't sure where we were going, basically. We had been long distance the whole time we had been together. We had met a few times, obviously, and spent a while together. I went to California, she came to Florida once, and she came to Kentucky once. The first time we met was when I was in Kentucky. But I was ready. I was working. I was ready to find our...
Destiny, tell the story. The amount of ums and pauses and distractions. Girl, get it together.
Our own place, moving together. I was ready to move on to the next step. And we were engaged. So I've been engaged. This will be my third engagement. Don't judge me. That girl, I was with her from I was 17 till 19. So, yeah. We were young and in love, so that's that. But, I don't know, I guess I was scared to kind of leave her, and I didn't know what Amber Lynn's intentions were, and I'm gonna kind of make myself look bad here, but I did essentially cheat on the girl I was with Amber Lynn.
Look, I know that Destiny was really young when she got into a relationship with Amber, but man, it's just hearing this story and knowing that she cheated on her girlfriend to start dating Amber, it makes me a little bit sad inside.
So, I feel like karma caught up to me eventually. Don't worry about it. So, but...
Well, okay, Destiny. You said it. I won't worry about it. And dating Amber is quite the punishment. That is more than karma.
I break up with her sometime the end of April, beginning of May. So then after that, which the way that they found out about each other, Amber Lynn actually messaged the girl, and you know, I was being a player. I was doing too much. But
Amber messaged Destiny's ex? Can we hear more about that, please? I guess most likely she went through Destiny's phone and took the number from there and then just took it upon herself to message this person. I mean, she's done that kind of thing before, so it definitely wouldn't surprise me. But that is some bad behavior. It's really gross. It's so toxic. Ew, I hate it.
But I didn't know how to end things. I'm not good with confrontation. I am now, but I wasn't then. So then after all that's said and done, we're broken up. I start to pursue a relationship with Amber Lynn. Then she's living in Virginia at the time with Crystal. I don't think they had been broken up very long, but and she didn't.
Correction, you guys started talking before they broke up. I know Amber to this day will maintain the fact that that's not true, but the timeline as seen in the videos that Amber uploaded proves that it is true. The two of you were talking before they broke up. Whether or not you consider that to be in a relationship with her, I mean, that's beside the point, really, because you were talking and she was invested, and so were you. Whatever kind of label you put on it technically doesn't matter.
Didn't have to leave Crystal's. Like, they were more than welcoming for her to be there, I know that much. But I can see how it would have been kind of awkward, you know, being there and that's your ex's parents and house and all that. So, I don't know, this is probably the only time I've ever really, like, U-hauled real fast. Maybe besides with Dana. This was really fast, though. We decided to get a place together, and Amber Lynn, I don't think she had worked very much, so she was kind of concerned about...
Worked very much? Destiny, she didn't do anything. She didn't work at all. That family took care of her 100%. This is where my doubts come from with Destiny as far as what Destiny considers to be true. I think at that time in her life, she was very young and she believed Amber when Amber told her things, right? So she assumed that Amber wasn't lying and thus took things as fact and to this day reports back on those things as though they are true, but it's not the truth. I think she was young and naive and gullible.
Like rent and everything and her trying to get a job. So I was like, well, we'll get a roommate, at least for the time being, until you can get a job, because I had a job and I had someone that I thought would do good as a roommate for us. So we decided to get a place together and get a roommate. Okay. So in June, this is June of 2015, I find an apartment, one that we finally agree on, what have you.
Notice the language that Destiny just used there. She found an apartment, right? Destiny did all the work, and then there was kind of a pause, and she said that we finally agreed on. And that right there makes me believe that Amber, even though she wasn't helping find this apartment, was being extremely picky and turning down a lot of the options that Destiny found for them. That is so high maintenance. I mean, it comes as no surprise ever that Amber is high maintenance, but just every new example of it, it just adds to that pile.
And then I plan a trip to not only Kentucky, but to Virginia to get Amber Lynn, essentially. So it's around the 4th of July. It's like the weekend of the 1st, or the week of the 1st, whatever that day was. I know it was on a weekend, though. My mom was going to take me to Virginia, but she was going to have too much stuff to do. So my mammy, who's my mom's mom, my grandma, but I call her Mammy, she said that she would take me. And I want to say from where I was at in Kentucky to where Amber Lynn was in Virginia, I want to say it was like, I don't know, a 7-hour drive. I'm not really entirely sure. I don't remember. I know it was still a pretty good drive after just getting to Kentucky, which I didn't drive to Kentucky. I was driving then, and so was my sister, but my dad didn't want us driving quite yet like that, so he drove us to a halfway point. I'm sorry, my dog's going crazy. And met up with my mom, and then my mom took us the rest of the way. So I get there on the 1st. On the 2nd is when I go to get Amber Lynn with my mammy and my pappy. We get back the next day, so July 3rd. I know we only made like a pit stop on the side of the road to go to sleep and drive the rest of the way. It was a lot. I was only going to be there for a few days.
I watched this part of Amber's history maybe a few months ago at this point. I honestly can't remember, but it wasn't that long ago that I saw all this again in chronological order, and I didn't realize that they didn't stop anywhere, that they only just stopped at the side of the road to have a nap, I guess. Man, they just must have stopped at a rest stop and got a few hours of sleep and then just kept moving, which, I hate that. I hate that idea. I mean, I get that sometimes that's what you gotta do. I don't know. I feel like you'd have to be babysitting Amber the whole time. And I don't know how old Destiny's grandparents were, but hopefully they were in good health and, able to do this kind of thing without it affecting the safety of the driving. It all just sounds a little unsafe to me. But that's the, worrier, I guess, coming out in me. Maybe I'm just overthinking it and they were totally fine and I don't need to have had any of this opinion whatsoever. Yeah, interesting. Interesting to hear, or I guess rehear, Destiny's side of this story after having kind of just rewatched all of Amber's version of that story. Eek.
We go to my family's cookout on the 4th of July, and that's when, I officially asked her out, and that's when we officially started dating.
You already have an apartment that you've rented. You haven't moved into it yet, but you have it, and you've picked her up from the place she lived, and she's never going back, and only then do you ask her to be your girlfriend. I'm just kind of speechless at the pace of this relationship.
So then we move into the apartment sometime like right before my birthday. So we get back to Florida on like the 5th or 6th, and then my birthday's the 13th. So we moved in between that little time slot. And everything's really good for a little while. Amberlynn wasn't quite sure where she was going to be working. I wasn't sure where she was going to be working.
I mean, if I had to guess, Amber was hoping she wasn't going to have to work and stalling until Destiny finally said, look, you have to get a job because we can't afford life if you don't. Right? That's the impression I'm getting and my gut feeling on the whole situation.
She was looking, and I knew we were hiring for something at my work, but I wasn't sure if she was going to want to do that. So, I talked to her about it, and essentially she did end up getting it. July 18th is the day Gracie went missing, and I've already addressed that she did not let my cat out. It was my roommate by accident.
Right, and this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Just because Destiny said that as though it is fact, I still don't believe that it is. Because Destiny didn't see it happen. Destiny is only going off the conversation that she had with Amber. And of course Amber denied all of it. So as the totally young, I think she was 18, 19-year-old that Destiny was, she believed her brand new girlfriend didn't do anything to her cat. Now she still believes that because she has nothing else to believe and no proof of anything otherwise. So she comes out here saying it is true, but I'm sorry, Destiny, I don't think that you know for sure. And I don't even think you understand that you were naive at the time, and thus that's why you believed her. So at this point, I'm just repeating myself, so I'll stop, but I just wanted to make sure it was clear about my feelings on Destiny's claim about Gracie.
So then, let me see, we're to August now. I think that was one of the first times we introduced Libby was in one of those videos. That was my roommate's sister. And I had been friends with our roommate since I was in the 2nd grade, but we didn't really become like best friends till middle school. So I don't remember how much older I am than Libby. She was 15, and I was 19, so like 5 years. So
okay, so yeah, I was correct. Destiny was 19. She wasn't even 20 yet. And so of course, she really, she just hadn't fully grown into her awareness of who Amber really was, She was a new girlfriend. She was either falling in love or thought she was, and she was believing what Amber was telling her.
like 6th, 7th grade would have put her in like, I don't know, 1st or 2nd grade. I don't know. She was little. I was supposed to go to college. I know that at one point we're filming me school shopping for.
I do remember that, actually. I watched that even more recently. We were at Walmart, and then if I can find that clip, I'll toss it in here.
What are you doing?
Ooh, mid-rise.
Okay, she's school shopping at freaking 2 a.m. School clothes shopping.
I'm just looking.
Well, she's more so like looking to get an idea of what she wants. Oh yeah. You know, none of these are gonna fit you because you're so short.
I know. I don't have petite. You want me to wear these to school?
No.
What about
Destiny Page, you know for a damn well fact you will not be wearing those.
no?
We're in her true section of the matter. What section's that?
The men's.
The men's section.
ties. Oh, this is all clearance.
Wait,
Back it up.
Are you gonna wear ties?
Why would I wear a tie to school?
Well, I mean, everyone's different.
What y'all doing today? Howdy.
Do they have any like flat bills or whatever you call them? Because those are my favorite.
Howdy. Notorious.
What are you doing with yourself? Oh, they have a Walking Dead one. Put the Walking Dead on. Oh, we have a hater up in here.
I'm not a hater.
Hater. A bitch and a half, though. I'm gonna throw them in your face. Those were the droids I was looking for. Is that Star Wars?
Yeah.
Ew. I don't give a rat's ass. Get it? Do you get it?
Yep.
Look at that Minion shirt. Oh my
Let's
God.
get weird. I have this one.
My aunt loves Minions. Minion life, though.
I own you. I don't own you. You're not a piece of meat.
You don't own pieces of meat.
Sure you do. I did not hit you. I high-fived your face. Fantasy football legend.
These are like.
If you can read this, you can clearly see how awesome I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These are like those kids in school that are
Shirts
freaking
are kind of
weirdos.
nice. These are the type of shorts that Destiny likes. Show them.
I don't like these. I said, do you like them?
You do like them because that. Why would you ask if I liked them if you didn't
Because
like
I'm
them?
not sure if I do or not.
Oh, she's not sure.
They're above the knee and look where they go on me.
Those are your go-to.
They got every color.
You have like
Gray,
a
red.
million of these shorts though.
What do you want me to? No, I don't. I only have like 3 pairs of shorts. What are you talking about?
Oh, well they're all these types. You should get like black.
That's what I was saying. They have like every color.
Yeah, you should do like black and gray. That look good.
I need a few pairs of khaki ones.
I do remember Destiny talking about going to college and then it just kind of fizzling out. Like they just never talked about it again. So.
Clothes and what have you. Couldn't figure out financial aid quite right. My dad was really confused by it, and that made me really confused by it. But essentially, in Florida, I don't know if this is everywhere, but until you hit 25, your financial aid goes off of your parents' income. And my dad made way too much money for me to get any kind of financial aid. And I was unsure about taking out student loans, mostly because I was unsure of what I wanted to do. So,
Yeah, that is a tough one. I don't fully remember what the rules were when I was trying to get student loans. It's been a minute since then, but believe you me, I needed those student loans for pretty much all of it. But unfortunately, it was like my mom made just enough to put us over the whatever, like this threshold of qualification for certain amounts of money. I did get a pretty large loan for college, but it wasn't enough to cover all of it. So I applied to every single scholarship and grant or whatever extra money that I could come up with and find. I went to my guidance counselor. I applied to so many scholarships. And luckily, I did get a few of them that really did help cover the rest of my expenses. It was a lot of work, but obviously very worth it in the end because I got to go to school and I went to college and I got a degree. But that whole tuition thing being based on your parents when your parents aren't necessarily paying your tuition, man.
eventually I just gave up on college, honestly.
And that's exactly it, right? Because then if you can't get the funds, if you can't figure out scholarships or qualify for them, then you just give up. You give up on your dream of going to college, and that's sad.
I didn't really like school that much, and I didn't see myself really pursuing school too much longer. So it was for the best. We got Wasabi in August. Now, I know that y'all were like trying to say that she wanted Wasabi so bad, and that's why Gracie went missing. No, whatever. I mean, we looked everywhere for my cat, and if push came to shove and my cat did turn up and we had already had Wasabi, it would have been fine. So that's essentially why I didn't care if we got Wasabi. It didn't bother me. And then
That was very interesting, the way that Destiny just framed all of that. It was almost like she started saying something and then decided she didn't want to say it, and so she said that instead. I'm sticking with my initial assessment of her being naive and believing things that Amber said, but I found that really weird. Let me know if you thought that was weird too. I can't quite put my finger on it as to why. I'd have to think about it some more, but I'll keep going.
At that point in time, we were also pretty regular people at Denny's. We had our own table. I know when we would go in there, we were pretty regular.
It is wild to me that these two people who made less than $10 an hour were going to Denny's so often that they had a table. You know?
That's also when she started working with me, and one of the platforms that she was using a lot to talk to you guys was Ask FM. She was using that a lot. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. September comes around. She's working with me. It's going very well.
Wait, why didn't she say more about Ask FM? All she stated was that Amber was using it? We know that already. Why did you bring that up, Destiny? Did you have a point? Was there more information you could add about it? No? Okay.
So, essentially, when she first started working with me, she was not a PCA worker. She was like dinner help, because dinner was a very hectic time, and we had an activities
Not Destiny saying hectic.
director at it was an assisted living facility. I don't think she ever explained that very well. And the activities director had just quit, and they were in the middle of getting someone, so instead of having the activity director stay that late, they were like, what if we hired someone that was literally just like a 4-hour shift? They came in at, I think it was 4 or 5. I don't know. It wasn't very long though. I think it was 4 to 8. Like, it wasn't very long. It was literally just to help with dinner, help with the cleanup. And I was a PCA worker. So she started out just doing that, and then she eventually became a PCA worker as well, just for when someone called in and whatnot.
I mean, I already knew all of this. I knew that Amber didn't have the role she claimed she had, and she didn't work the hours that she claimed that she worked. This is old news. But really, just thinking about those animals and how neglected they were after having just created that Scarlet video, it's just fresh in my mind, and it makes me sad every time I hear it, because I know for sure that Amber could have been home with them, and she chose to go and basically watch over Destiny and make sure Destiny wasn't talking to people that Amber didn't want her talking to, etc. It's horrible.
She started Weight Watchers in September of that year at some point. She also mentioned something about the seatbelt was broken in my car. Now my car, it was a 2000 Honda Civic, the car that I had the whole time me and her were together. That car was in no shape or form broken. The seatbelt was not broken. I don't ever remember her actually trying the seatbelt on, but I don't think it was going to be able to go around her. I think she just said it was broke because she didn't want y'all to know that it didn't fit her.
I feel like this is the first time that Destiny is full on saying that Amber lied about something. You know, she's talked about other truths without directly saying that Amber lied, but she finally did it here, and it's so weird to me the way that Destiny is kind of picking and choosing what she is saying Amber lied about, or at least the language that she uses about how Amber spoke about something. You'd think by this time, 6 years later, she really would be able to see Amber for who she truly was and is, and be able to take a firmer stance on some of these things, but she's still not doing that. And I find that pretty curious.
But eventually, when I get my new car after I have that car, the seatbelt in it, because she rode in my car a couple times, that seatbelt did fit around her, and that was like the first time she wore a seatbelt in a long time. Like, I don't know, she was really happy about it.
And sorry, I'm still kind of stuck on this previous thought I was having. It makes me wonder how, if and when Destiny does some retro reacts to her era, how she really is going to be reacting to those. Is she going to be able to recognize Amber and her lies and her behavior and her toxicity? Or is she still going to kind of revert back to that time in her own mind and accept Amber for that kind of behavior and forgive her for it? Or is she going to see it? Is she going to see it for what it is and how she was being treated? I'd like to think that, especially after, chatting with Beck and the two of them kind of commiserating over their shared experiences as, Amber's partner. But I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced that Destiny has full clarity about how she was treated in that relationship and how much Amber really lied about.
And then she came to work with me even on days that she was off. She volunteered. I don't know if that was essentially just to get out of the house more or just to be like with me more. I didn't really care. Usually when she was there volunteering, she was just sitting with the certain resident that she said was her favorite. And then when they left, she was just, really just chilling, hanging out with the residents. It was fine. Nobody cared. And I also know this happened either the end of September or the beginning of October. Me and her got in a really bad argument in Walmart. I called her the ex from before. I called her the pet name that I had for them.
Ooh, it's the Pookie incident. How exciting. All right, let's hear it.
It was Pookie. And I don't know, it was just, I guess, a habit. Like, we were just bickering and I said it. And I don't know what it was, but it set her off. And she was in, what is that, the scooters at Walmart. She was in one of those. And she just kind of took off. And I kept calling her. I couldn't find her. She got, away from me. And she wouldn't answer me. I couldn't find her. She would not answer me. And I was, not about it. I was like, okay, whatever. And I left. I went to my car. I don't think I had anything with me. I think she had stuff in her buggy. But I went to my car and I went back to the apartment. Now, we live just around the corner from this Walmart.
Now, before she continues the story, I gotta say, I kind of love the fact that Destiny left. Amber was acting like an absolute child. How stupid is this whole fight? And Destiny saw it. She's like, this is dumb. You're acting like a child. I'm leaving. Maybe you can grow up and figure it out.
So we weren't too far, but it was still, if you walked it was a good walk. So I go home and I don't know what it is. When I get angry or upset or whatever, I want to just take a shower. So I get home and I take a shower in hopes that when I get out, everything will have cooled off. Maybe she would have called me, whatever. So she had called me a couple times when I get out of the shower, and lo and behold, she had started to walk home. I don't think she bought anything that we had with us either. Just walked. She walked probably halfway. So she walked a good bit. It was very surprising. But she did. She walked a good bit, and I went and picked her up and drove her the rest of the way home. And it's not something I'm proud of, but after that, let me see. After that, the ex I had before, I started reaching out to her because, I don't know, that's just, I feel like that's normal, what people do when you start to have issues in a new relationship. I don't know, you seek comfort in what you knew before, I guess is what I was doing. And I wasn't trying to be like flirting or anything like that, but
This is the second time Destiny has said this, that she's reached out to someone. First time it was Amber, and now it's her ex. That she wasn't looking to be flirting with them. She already said she wasn't proud of her behavior here. We all know that she cheated on her ex to talk to Amber. So we definitely have a pattern with Destiny here, and Destiny kind of forgiving herself for it because she says that wasn't her intention, even though that is exactly what she was doing. So, sorry Destiny, but I'm not giving you that one. Flirting with other people while you're with someone else is not okay. Unless, you're in an open relationship. But that's not what you were in here, as far as I know.
I mean, I was secretly talking to her, so I mean, I guess that's still bad, obviously.
Yup, that's exactly it. If you have to do it in secret, you shouldn't be doing it. Come on, Destiny.
But I would just call her when I was alone, basically, or text her.
So what did you tell Amber? Because I bet Amber was starting to get suspicious, right? Amber keeps track of all of your movements and all of your behavior. So I bet she noticed that you were spending a little bit more time on your phone than usual. So did you bring back the old someone's using my photos to catfish people story? And that you were just back on the apps just making sure they weren't still doing it? Because I don't know, Destiny. I don't know.
The way I texted her, though, I would get a texting app on my phone and delete it when I wasn't using it. So that was pretty sneaky on my part. It was pretty bad on my part, but I just knew that there was no way Amberlynn would have let me talk to her, basically.
And once again, that language that Destiny uses, Amber wouldn't let her. It's not wouldn't like it or her feelings would be hurt. Amber wouldn't let her. And I'm sorry, but that kind of language does not belong in a relationship. That's called control. It's very toxic.
So I hid it. That's also when I started having the chest pain that I kept having. Eventually, I find out that is stress-induced acid reflux. Because...
Did you just say acid reflux? Destiny, please. We all know it is not reflex. What are you doing? Was that a troll? Are you trolling us right now? But yeah, also, side note, not surprised that you're having heartburn due to stress when you just said everything you're doing with the talking to your ex and hiding that you're doing it and deleting the app when Amber's in the room and blah, blah, blah. Of course you're stressed out. Oh my God.
Because I think Amberlynn was stressing me out a little too much. That's also when I found out I had asthma. So there's that. Let's see.
Destiny, come on. Why are you putting these types of things into this first cup of tea video? Finding out you had asthma and then moving on to the next thing is really not that interesting. But okay, whatever.
That's also when Amberlynn stabbed her hand and she had to get stitches.
That stupid circle.
That was traumatic and dramatic. October comes around. I know we went to the fair around there. She didn't ride anything with me. She was too scared mostly. I don't know if she would have fit on anything, not anything like saying anything bad, but it's the state fair, like the rides are sketchy as it is.
I think this is yet another example of Destiny giving Amber too much credit. Just believing her when she said she's scared. I mean, she probably was. Carnival rides are not always the safest thing. They can be pretty rickety and have sharp corners. You definitely can get hurt on those things, depending, of course, on the fair and the location and who's running it. So I do believe that, people can be afraid to ride those rides. I get that. At the same time, I also don't think that was the main reason or really the only reason that Amber wasn't riding the rides. I think it was because she couldn't fit. And here we have Destiny, again, giving her the benefit of the doubt. And I don't think Amber deserves the benefit of the doubt. And that's just it, is her behavior over the years has been consistent. She has consistently lied, constantly. And I don't know. Am I the only one that sees that Destiny is believing Amber too much? throughout all of this and telling her side of the story through Amber's side of the story, if that makes sense. You know, am I overthinking this? Am I just too used to Amber's lies that now I'm criticizing Destiny too much? I guess that could be possible, but honestly, that is what I'm seeing. I am seeing Amber's version told through Destiny. It means that Destiny can't really see it yet.
That's when she also started doing some PCA work. I wrote that we had a lot of fighting at this point too. And that's when we got a phone plan together. So I got off my dad's phone plan and she got off Crystal's mom.
Man, I didn't realize how long it took for Amber to get off of Crystal's family's plan. I knew that she had been on it for a while, but yeah, at this point it's been a few months and she's had a job. Albeit not the role she claims to have had, and she's definitely making less money than she should be if she actually had the role she told the world that she had. But still, man, she was still making money, she still had a job, and she still has Crystal's parents paying for her phone. Amber has had every opportunity to get healthy, to make her life better. People have handed her things that most people are never handed. Man, that's sad.
Phone plan, and we got new iPhones. November comes around.
You know Amber still has that old phone, right? She admitted to keeping all of her old phones pretty recently, so she's got them in her little storage area somewhere. Man, to see what's on those phones, now that is the gold mine of all this. Like, forget her journals, because she lies to herself in her journals. But her phone activity, that's where it's at. That's what I want to see someday. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. You know, the chaos goblin in me definitely wants to see it. And the, mental health and wellness side of me does not.
And that's when Amberlynn finds out her mom's in prison. Now, before her mom went to prison, I want to say it was 2 weeks before we found out she was in prison, her mom had started to reach out to her on Facebook. Now, I'm not trying to go into all of her personal details, but I know that they were like rekindling their relationship, reconnecting, and then her mom just kind of disappeared. And that's when I started researching, trying to figure out, what happened to her, and that I found that she had gone to prison.
Man, there's a lot to unpack in just that 20 seconds of what Destiny just said. My first question is, was Amber really trying to rekindle her relationship with Mama Lynn? Or is that something that Amber told Destiny and Destiny believed, right? So now she's reporting it here as fact. Or not. Because if they were trying to have a healthier, stronger relationship as mother and daughter, you would think that Amber would be the one who did the research to find out why she was in prison, etc., not Destiny. Destiny just made it very clear that she was the one who did the research. So, it's very strange the way Destiny is telling these stories and the language that she uses. It's almost like she's still trying to be careful, like she's worried about Amber's backlash? I don't know, I can't figure it out. It's definitely heavy on my mind, though, obviously. I keep bringing this up. It's just that I keep seeing it in every new thing that Destiny talks about.
And that she was probably going to be in there for a while. I don't remember what the reasoning was. That's not my business to tell. And then, still in November, we started talking about moving somewhere else, not staying in that apartment. Let's see. And that's also when we were staying at my dad's a lot. I know that a lot of the time when she was filming that we would be at my dad's a lot. My dad was going through a divorce. I'm not trying to air out his business, but he was. And him and my ex-stepmom were kind of trying to figure out if they were keeping that house, selling it, like what was going on. So my dad was staying with his girlfriend, and she was staying with her mom, so no one was there. And my dad would go there a lot, obviously. Like, he wasn't living with his girlfriend. He was still there a lot, but it was mostly at night that he wasn't there, so he would want us to either stay the night there a lot or just stop by there at night, because my dog Kona, who ended up passing while me and her were together, he started to have really bad liver failure and he needed meds, and my dad just didn't like him being alone. And at this point, he wasn't sure about taking our dogs over to his girlfriend's house, which eventually he does do.
Interesting to hear that Destiny's father was worried about Kona being alone. It's like the only person in all of the Amberverse that has been worried, at least up to this point, that has been worried about leaving animals alone. I guess if they had someone in their lives who was worried about leaving pets alone, you might think that that would trickle down into their own line of thought, you know? That, hey, maybe we shouldn't leave our pets alone for so long every single day. But I guess it just didn't. Like, I don't know. It still just doesn't make sense to me how they thought that that was okay.
Then in December, you guys, if you look back in the videos, because that's kind of what I had to do, my friend Haley, who I still work with now, she works at the same place I do, has her first kid, Jediah, and I always say that in the video. He was actually in one of me and Dana's previous videos, the one where I show the car seat that I get for my niece. He's the one that tests it out for me. Him and Shane helped me test it out. And so we go and see Jediah right after he's birthed.
All right. Well, also, I don't much care about this part of what Destiny's saying. I will say this. This is yet another example of, you know, Destiny thinking something's okay when it's not. Like, these kids shouldn't have been in the YouTube videos. The more that I watch this and I hear Destiny speaking and the way she's talking about things, makes me believe that Destiny is also a very unreliable narrator in this story. That her version of things can't be taken as truth. And, you know, it definitely can be another side to a story for sure, but we shouldn't just wholeheartedly believe Destiny simply because we don't believe Amber, right? We need to bring our critical thinking skills across all the side characters. It's just becoming more obvious to me. The more that I watch this, the more I understand that Destiny's coming from a place of also not understanding who Amber was.
That's also when we find out that our roommate was going to be moving out and moving in with her boyfriend. She still agreed to help with rent until we could either find another roommate or figure out if we could do it on our own, basically. And then this is also when she starts showing our other two coworkers from the nursing home or assisted living, whatever you want to call it, Casey and Cherie. She shows them a lot. I don't really talk to them that much anymore. Like, we're not like on bad terms or anything. It's just I stopped seeing them every day, so we didn't really keep in touch too well.
And again, the language Destiny just used, right? Did you hear her? She said Amber was showing them a lot. All you need to do is watch one of those videos from Amber and see the look on their faces that they don't want to be on camera. They have not given consent. Some of them literally get up and walk out of the room because they don't want to be there and they don't want to be filmed. So it's just weird. The way that Destiny is telling these stories, it's just clear that she doesn't fully get it. All right, I'm going to try and stop repeating myself on this. It's just that I really do keep seeing it. And I think that's really making this exercise very worthwhile, going into the fact that Destiny might be creating more videos. I think it's really good to understand her point of view for sure. I want to hear it. But also, we just need to remember her point of view might be skewed or based on herself being super young and naive when it happened.
Like I said, I'm still really good friends with Haley. I mean, we work together now. Also, at this point, I really wanted to cut my hair kind of the way I do it now. I was just too chicken. Let's see. Also, at some point in December of that year, I did get pulled over when we were in Alabama trying to surprise my friends. I got pulled over because I was going like 10 over and all they did was tell me to slow down. That's all.
Okay, good story, Destiny.
Also when my mom came to visit and she brought us a kitten that she couldn't find a home for.
Ah, yes, this is Scarlet. And I actually popped this part of the video into my Scarlet video because I did want to make sure we got both sides of the story, right? We have Destiny's version and Amber's version. And Destiny does not really offer too much more information about Scarlet, but, you know, at least I did get a little bit closer to the timeline because of what she says here.
And essentially we ended up giving that kitten to a friend because the kitten and Wasabi just didn't get along. I don't know why, but eventually me and Amber Lynn get other cats and he's fine with those cats. I don't know if it was like the age he was at that he didn't get along with them. I don't know what was going on. They just didn't get along. And we gave her to one of my friends. I'm pretty sure my friend still has this cat. So, and she had other cats and the cat did fine. Let's see. And then this is when she started going through like her vegan vegetarian phases.
The look on Destiny's face there. I don't even know if she realized that she made that look, but you could see it. It was very like micro expression, fleeting moment of almost an eye roll about the fact that, you know, these were her vegan and vegetarian phases. You could feel the eye roll for sure.
So she was a vegetarian for a little while and then she would start like these different other diets and stuff. I don't know. Like it was her thing. I wasn't too keen on telling her how to live her life.
See, and again, this is Destiny just trying to be nice. You know, saying like I wasn't trying to tell Amber how to live her life. Yeah, for sure, I get that. But how did it affect you? Like, that's the part I want to hear, Destiny. How did it affect your relationship with Amber? How did Amber treat you when she was dieting? Because was she in a bad mood? Was she more controlling? Was she fighting with you more? Like, that's the side of the story we are interested in hearing, not the fact that you didn't want to try and tell Amber what to do. Because I bet if you did, she yelled a lot, right? Stop being so nice. If you're gonna tell us your side of the story, tell the whole thing.
So if she was trying to do diet, I was just like, go for it. You know, it's on you. You got to eat the stuff. You got to do the stuff. So, and then we went on vacation for Christmas. That was our first Christmas together, and instead of getting presents for each other.
Ah, yes, this was their trip to Destin. You know, Destiny really did celebrate Amber's birthday on that trip. It was a really nice gesture. No matter how you feel about Destiny and, you know, all the facets of her personality and how she treats animals and all of that, I will say, she really did try to treat Amber very nicely and, you know, gave her that little surprise birthday party thing that they had in their hotel room with the gifts and everything. Like, that was cute. So she did some things that were very nice for Amber. And that has carried out until the present, right? She's still protecting her in some ways, even if she doesn't realize that she's doing it.
We went there and we kind of celebrated Amber Lynn's birthday all in the same. So that's all for the year 2015. I'm going to try to keep this separated by years. That way these videos don't stay too long. So that was 2015. Not a whole lot of tea, but some interesting facts. And I know she doesn't want me to make these videos because she thinks I'm just gonna make her look bad, but I just admitted to a lot of stuff which she knows about. So, I mean, I'm not making myself look good either, essentially. So, all right, I will see you guys next time.
All right, so that was Destiny's first cup of tea. And like she said, it wasn't a whole lot of tea, but I do think we learned something today. And I think before we wrap this up and get a Corgi Cam, we should take a look at a couple comments because I am interested to see what people had to say about this. So let's have a quick look at those and then we can get to our Corgi Cam. She just kind of took off. Destiny, I cannot stop laughing, imagining her angrily driving off in a scooter. I mean, picturing that is, it's so stupid. Like, it's so dumb, but also at the same time, it just feels like it tracks. Like, it tracks with Amber. Like, if Amber's gonna have some kind of tantrum, of course she's also gonna, like, have to do it on a scooter where she drives off, what, slowly? You can't stomp off at a slow roll. Chill with everyone saying this is lukewarm. It's this or 25 videos of Amazon unboxings and wifey's disembodied arm. Yeah, also true. You know, as much as there may not have been a lot of tea in this video, hey, it's something else to watch. It's Destiny trying to, like, start trying to tell her side of things, and it's gorlworld. Perspective, people. Perspective. I'm sorry, but the image of Amber scooting away in a huff has me absolutely dying. Yes, girl, don't be silenced. You're sharing your personal experiences, and if anyone tries to stop you, then they are dehumanizing you. Right, Amber? The jump scare of that burp transition. Ugh. It makes me not want to watch the other ones because I hate it that much. Seriously, I hate it. Destiny, please don't bring that back. If you're bringing back videos, just leave the burp out of it. It's gross. Thank you for going through everything chronologically. I hope you're doing good now. Please continue to spill tea. That is one thing I can agree with. I am glad that Destiny went chronologically because it's actually made it easier for me to find things in the past that I've wanted to, cross-check on other videos I've made, just like the one for Scarlet. Like, I knew exactly where to look at the end of this video because she went chronologically, and it was super fast for me to find it. So I appreciate that too. Thank you, Destiny. Destiny, if you would become a reactor and react to old and new content while providing context and insider commentary, you'd bank, and it would be sustainable long term. Well, as long term as one can expect the ham beast to last. And honestly, I don't even know if it really depends on Amber, because really depends on is YouTube and whether or not they continue taking her videos down. And it is about freaking time that YouTube is finally taking action against Amber. It has been a long time coming. So it's late, but you know what? I'll take a late win over no win at all. Destiny becoming a reactor, it might actually come true, but to be honest, with Destiny and her start so far, I'm not really so sure she's actually going to follow through on anything. But hey, if Destiny does do it, I'll watch. All right, I think let's end on that one. It has been a long video because of, well, I guess a lot of ums and uhs from Destiny, as well as me having a lot to say about it. So let's first have ourselves a Corgi Cam so we can soothe our souls, and then we'll wrap this video up. Thank you, Mini Waffles, as always. You are the cutest and make me feel so much better every single time. And I think that brings us to today's reminder. Today's reminder: memories aren't always facts, because the human mind does everything it can to protect us from our trauma. Okay, now, if you wouldn't mind helping me out with the algorithm, I could really use the help right about now. You can hit like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. Or if you'd like to support me even more, you can consider becoming a channel member. I'm going to leave a couple videos on screen right now if you'd like to continue watching. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I did essentially cheat on the girl I was with Amber Lynn.
Alright, this is a test. How are we doing? Let's test the sound.